What am I afraid of? The mayor of Detroit.
In terms of what?
I'd rather not say anything more.
Now, I reached Bob Carmack by phone today. He had no comment on these charges, neither did his attorney.
You're worried about going to prison in this case.
We're not talking anymore about it, and thank you. We're done. Thank you.
Hey, when you're in a fight, you got to get up there and fight, baby.
Well, it's crazy to tear someone's building down, throw somebody out of the building, bring 4 charges on them.
David Layton knows the people in Detroit through the Democrat Party. They all know each other one way or another. And what they do is they're stealing money from Detroit to Flint to the whole state. It's like a mafia that is going around just stealing tax dollars.
I'm businessman Bob Carmack. You could donate to my super PAC and it'd be anonymous to any businessman that wants to stop corruption where you don't have to pay to play. Help me fight public corruption and stop the corruption in Michigan.
David Layton knows the people in Detroit through the Democrat Party. They all know each other one way or another. And what they do is they're stealing money from Detroit to Flint to the whole state. It's like a mafia that is going around just stealing tax dollars.
I've said it before on the show. This is one of the biggest miscarriage of justice I've ever seen in all my 40 years as a journalist.
David Layton knows the people in Detroit through the Democrat Party. They all know each other one way or another. And what they do is they're stealing money from Detroit to Flint to the whole state. It's like a mafia that is going around just stealing tax dollars.
I've said it before on the show. This is one of the biggest miscarriage of justice I've ever seen in all my 40 years as a journalist.
What am I afraid of? The mayor of Detroit.
In terms of what?
I'd rather not say anything more.
Now, I reached Bob Carmack by phone today. He had no comment on these charges, neither did his attorney.
You're worried about going to prison in this case.
We're not talking anymore about it, and thank you. We're done. Thank you.
But now, Bob Carmack is sitting down with the Morning Gazette radio show.
Let me tell you this. David Layton knows Mike Duggan. David Layton ran for attorney general. David Layton knows the people in Detroit. Masseron wrote the bond for the water up there. You know, how did Alexis Wiley meet somebody up from Uptown Development, which is a big developer up in Flint? These people are associated through the Democrat Party. They all know each other one way or another. And what they do is they're stealing money from Detroit to Flint to the whole state. It's like a mafia that is going around just stealing tax dollars.
I agree with Bob Carmack 100%. This David Layton guy needs to resign right. Forget resigning. He needs to be under the jail for what he did to Bob Carmack. To charge this man with a crime, and yet City Councilman Eric Mays gets the hell beat out of him in a bar. Nothing but crickets out of that office. We got a guy at Macy's beat the hell out of a guy for doing nothing. Layton's office gives him a slap on the wrist. This monster's walking the streets, yet businessman Bob Carmack, who employs people, who expose public corruption, his punishment, he gets charged? There's something wrong with the water in the city of Flint. David Layton, quit drinking it. It's messing with your brain. David Layton, they're going to bury you in prison because prosecutors might not do so well in prisons. I'll pray for you. Bob Carmack, will you pray for him?
I'll pray for him.
We're going to be praying for you, David Layton.
You're worried about going to prison in this case.
We're not
right?
talking anymore about it, and thank you. We're done. Thank you.
But now, the businessman at war with Detroit's mayor sits down with the Michigan Crusaders.
What am I afraid of? The mayor of Detroit.
In terms of what?
I'd rather not say anything more.
But now, the businessman at war with Detroit's mayor sits down with the Michigan Crusaders. Weeknights, 10 p.m. I'm Mike Kilbreth on a crusade to expose crooked politicians. Bob, another long day. Seems like people I talk to, their tires get slashed, they get amnesia. People threaten my cameraman today, told him they're going to beat his ass. He put the camera in his face. I'm getting frustrated.
Welcome to Detroit, baby. It's tougher than Flint. Hey, don't be scared. Get into town. Fight, baby.
Scared. At lunch, I called for an army. I'm bringing reinforcements.
Hell, you better get Flint down here. We've got a war going on.
On a crusade to be a watchdog over your tax dollars. I'm Mike Kilbreth on a crusade to expose crooked politicians.
When I was doing this offer to purchase on the riverfront, he came to me and asked me for 50 grand. 3 or 4 times. Matter of fact, he's left his jacket in my car one time. He came to my shop unannounced, right, trying to get some money off me. I wouldn't pay the guy. Well, because I didn't pay, I didn't get the riverfront property. Just like with Duggan. A consultant came in and said, listen, if you want this property, hire me. He even sent me an email that if I need any help, and he has city documents showing that he had a relationship with city, that if I need any help to call him. Well, what I need any help for? I got an offer to purchase, I got a deposit, I did all my due diligence. I don't need help. All I need you to do is take it to city council. Why do I got to pay someone to get a deal in Detroit?
On a crusade to be a watchdog over your tax dollars. I'm Mike Kilbreth on a crusade to expose crooked politicians.
So here they asked me for 50 grand, and I said, listen, I ain't going to jail with you clowns, you know what I mean? You're going to go to jail, you're going to snitch on each other. Now you're going to talk to each other, you're all going to be in jail, or you're going to have to move out of the damn state because you snitched on each other. And that's what happened. And fortunately for me, I get to keep going. I've been with my kids ever since. I didn't make the money that I could have made, which would have been $5 million. But guess what? I'm glad where I'm at because I saw my kids play baseball. I saw my kids play football. I saw my kids play hockey. I saw my kids do everything for the last 14 years. And while they didn't see their kids grow up, they didn't see their kids live the life that they made them kids to grow up with. And it was all about money and power. Money and power is nothing in God's world. You got to understand, you can't take money with you, and you can't take power with you to heaven. But you can't take it to hell.
On a crusade to be a watchdog over your tax dollars.
What am I afraid of? The mayor of Detroit.
In terms of what?
I'd rather not say anything more.
Now, I reached Bob Carmack by phone today. He had no comment on these charges, neither did his attorney.
You're worried about going to prison in this case.
We're not
right?
talking anymore about it, and thank you. We're done. Thank you.
But now, Bob Carmack is sitting down with the Morning Gazette radio show.
Let me tell you this. David Layton knows Mike Duggan. David Layton ran for Attorney General. David Layton knows the people in Detroit. Masseron wrote the bond for the water up there. You know, how did Alexis Wiley meet somebody up from Uptown Development, which is a big developer up in Flint? These people are associated through the Democratic Party. They all know each other one way or another. And what they do is they're stealing money from Detroit to Flint to the whole state. It's like a mafia that is going around just stealing tax dollars.
Now, you didn't say who she was. Now, later, on opening day for the Tigers last season, with Mike Duggan throwing out the first pitch, all these airplanes are flying around Comerica Park with banners identifying the woman. I remember one, it said, "Hey, Dr. Hassan, will you marry me? Love, Mayor Duggan." And then it says, ... Oh, wait, I'm already married. Now, about 3 or 4 hours later, the Detroit Free Press came out with a big expose saying Dr. Hassan over at Wayne State, she received a whole bunch of help from Mike Duggan, about $400,000 almost in a city grant, along with city staff helping her raise $1.5 million for her nonprofit. And all of a sudden, this case went to new heights because this was statewide news, even made some national news with all these airplanes flying around Comerica Park. That was a pretty expensive stunt, Bob.
Hey, when you're in a fight, you got to get up there and fight, baby. The situation is the heck. He tore down my building back in 2017, the building that my father gave to me that I wanted to give to my son. He tore it down, leveled it right with my hoist in there, my compressors, everything. He had one of his guys back in 2014, try to squeeze me for 10 to 20,000 to get a piece of land. And his son, who I met at Nemo's, wanted me to partner with him. I knew these guys real good. I didn't want to get involved in on that. I knew the Kirkpatrick group. I knew what happened there. I just don't feel that you got to pay to play. I don't feel that you got to partner with a family member to get a deal. And I never got a deal. So I am where I am, and and it's become a full-blown war.
Let's get ready to rumble!
A bizarre stunt pulled by one of Mike Duggan's most vocal critics has the mayor and his wife crying foul.
Well, he was on the verge of tears today. Detroit businessman Bob Carmack told the Detroit City Council he has proof Mayor Duggan accepted bribes related to Detroit's demolition program.
Politics, as you know, is an ugly game, and today it got a little uglier than usual when an enemy of Mayor Mike Duggan circulated a video he claims is evidence of wrongdoing. So this morning, Mayor Duggan and his wife Lori Maher released a joint statement. It reads, "A litigant, angry to be losing a case to the Detroit Law Department, apparently decided to retaliate by hiring private investigators to follow the mayor without his knowledge for several months. And in the end, their surveillance failed to uncover a single misdeed in the management of the city. If that terrible invasion of privacy weren't enough, it got worse. This same angry litigant then took individual videos of cars driving, spliced them together, and added assumptions and insinuations. Also, he could create a negative judgment on the state of our marriage. We decided to write this statement together because we are proud of the marriage we've built over 32 years, proud that our bond remains strong today, and proud of our goal to spend the rest of our lives together."
I had some long conversations this weekend with my family, and they're fully supporting my decision.
Controversial Detroit businessman waging a public war with Mayor Mike Duggan is now facing criminal charges.
7 investigator Ross Jones live in our newsroom with the latest in this strange saga. Ross.
Linda, Dave, Bob Carmack and Mayor Duggan have been battling it out for more than a month, and today a county prosecutor entered the fray, leveling serious charges that could put Carmack in prison for years. It was less than a month ago Carmack called a press conference saying the city was coming after him, and then he said this.
I am afraid. I have 3 kids to take care of. I'm a single father.
Bob Carmack may not have reason to fear Mayor Mike Duggan, but the Genesee County prosecutor is another story. That's who charged him today with 4 felonies, all related to what prosecutor David Layton's office says was an effort to defraud the city of Detroit.
Reviewed at the top levels of my office, we determined that there was probable cause that a crime had been committed.
It all stems from a property on Melville Avenue in Detroit that Carmack says he was properly deeded by the city in 2007. He sold it in 2016 for a cool $1 million profit. But the city has long maintained that Carmack committed fraud in obtaining the property's deed and shouldn't have been able to sell it for a penny, let alone $1 million.
Another witness is the buyer who testified he wanted the land because it'll be located near the new bridge to Canada. But after he paid the cool $1 million, he was told by the city Carmack didn't own the land, and he was in limbo.
Well, because the city apparently owns or owned the property.
I would feel bad for anybody who's in limbo and out $1 million. But my job is to represent my client, and my client got a valid deed in the mail.
This was the view from high above Comerica Park today. The big crowd downtown is seeing another high-stakes game in the sky.
The ongoing feud between a Detroit businessman charged with fraud and Detroit Mayor Mike Duggan. The businessman paid thousands of dollars to fly 3 banners over the stadium and downtown for several hours.
Some people are going to look at this and say, this guy is unhinged. He's crazy.
Crazy. Well, it's crazy to tear someone's building down, throw somebody out of the building, bring 4 charges on them.
The 3 banners say, forced to pay a bribe to the mayor, and anyone have sex with Duggan for a raise? Call an 800 number. Is that a legitimate number?
No.
And the 3rd banner, we're not showing the name of the woman, marry me, as if it were the mayor who paid for the banner. Then it says, oh wait, I am married. Carmack says the mayor started this feud.
He has 4 felony charges on me. I'm looking at 20 years in jail. I'm a single father with 3 kids. I don't know how it gets any more serious than this, but I'm just trying to fight and keep it out there what's going on with me.
Carmack tells me he spent $4,500 on the 3 banners to be up in the sky for 6 hours. We got a brief statement from the mayor's office that says this is what we would come to expect from Bob Carmack.
Well, it's not every day a man charged with 4 felonies flies 2 banners over the courthouse blaming the mayor. It happened again today in Detroit, the latest in the ongoing feud between businessman Bob Carmack and Mayor Mike Duggan.
Short of the judge dismissing this case, it's likely embarrassing banners will be flying over the skies of Detroit for months to come.
Bob Carmack's facing up to 20 years in prison on his fraud case here in court. Remember on Tigers opening day, he had 3 banners flying over downtown. Today it was 2 more against the mayor. One banner says Kilpatrick in jail for 28 years, put Duggan for the same. And the other, Duggan spent $1.5 million of city tax dollars on his mistress and sex. Carmack claims he's charged with felony fraud because the mayor told the Detroit police and the detective to get him.
The mayor is the boss over this police officer. She answers directly to the mayor.
I don't think you should do anything for this city to help this man. This man, there's a guy in jail doing 28 years. A black man. This man's worse than that guy. I mean, worse. He should be in jail. Lock this guy up. That's what I say. Lock him up.
Local 4 News begins right now with a breaking news alert.
Breaking news is coming to us from downtown Detroit. An investigation has now been launched into Mayor Duggan and his ties to a nonprofit. The investigation coming from the Detroit office of the Inspector General.
Big story this afternoon, Detroit demolition drama.
The first convictions tonight in the investigation into corruption within a program aimed at revitalizing the city.
Some breaking news.
Attorney General Dana Nessel's office confirming a search of Detroit's IT department is related to its investigation into city employees deleting emails involving the Make Your Date nonprofit.
The AG's office executed the warrant today at the city's public safety headquarters.
Well, tonight, 2 men have pled guilty to rigging bids in exchange for bribes.
7 Action News reporter Jim Kurtzer is live downtown. And Jim, this could just be the tip of the iceberg.
That's what one of the defense attorneys here says because of the scope of this program. 2 charged, 2 pleading guilty today, essentially fraud on their own employer. And this defense attorney says there's an irony in this. Get this, this pay-for-play scheme did not cost taxpayers extra.
What he did saved the city money and it saved his employer money.
These boxes prove his innocence. Prosecutors came to court with their own Jack in the Box. They disclosed that police tried to bring new charges against Carmack while he fought fraud charges for collecting $1 million for this piece of land that once belonged to the city of Detroit. Defense attorneys Lillian Diallo and Stephen Haney say the failed attempt to bring new charges against Carmack proved that he's not just being prosecuted, he's being persecuted.
During the middle of this case, the officer in charge tried to pursue another criminal investigation to charge Mr. Carmack with more felony crimes. Took it to every prosecutor in the state of Michigan, including Genesee County, and everybody said, no, we don't want it. We're not touching it. So I think that goes to our argument of a vindictive prosecution.
The reference to Genesee County is significant because the Genesee County prosecutor is handling the fraud case because the Wayne County prosecutor claimed a conflict of interest. Haney says the new charges that prosecutors rejected involved a claim Carmack bribed a trash contractor. Diallo says the real garbage is that police are out to get her client.
That's what's troubling, and that's what's disturbing. You cannot abuse your authority. It's almost like, you know, some kind of deep state conspiracy, right? And I'm so far removed from conspiracies. It's so outrageous. Okay, gotta go.
Because of all the new wrinkles in this case, the judge has scheduled the case to resume next year.